How long is this bear market? It's longer than you think. I know what you are saying. We are already in a bear market. It's down 29% in the NASDAQ and around 20% in the S&P 500. We don't have any major crisis or anything at this time. Oh boy, I just want you to know you ain't seen nothing yet. And I understand that you weren't here for the 2008 subprime crisis. I know you weren't here for the 2000 dot-com bubble. I wasn't even there. We are only halfway down, just like Michael Burry said. And it could go further than that because the dot-com bubble was just about over exuberance, about a new thing called the internet. And the subprime crisis was about the banks getting really greedy, selling mortgage-backed securities and some overpriced real estate. That was nothing in today's standards. I mean, banks failed. Businesses failed. That's normal. This is war. This is war between two of the largest economies in the world. We are in for a major crash. I am going to tell you how it's going to happen and where the bottom is right after this. And of course, smash the like button. If you want to be my good boy, apply to write your first book with me. Welcome back to the Audacious Money Witch channel, where we talk about stocks, bonds, and commodity markets. If you like any of these markets, consider subscribing. It's totally free. And of course, tap the like button. It's totally free to do so if you like what you see in today's video. This video is brought to you by my Patreon. If you are a sweet boy, go to patreon.com/magicalgoddesscheryl to support my work. If you want to be my good boy, apply to write your first book with me. Author of best-selling books, Goddess Cheryl. You will get the encouragement you need to be on your author journey. My good boys always obey. They always do everything I ask of them. They never say no. Why am I so confident that the bear market is going to even longer? I have made previous video about my prediction that the S&P 500 will go to 2,500 in the next 90 days. I will link that video here. In that video, I made a strong case based on charts and technical analysis. Why we are going there. Wall Street are focused on the Fed and inflation. They are missing the bigger picture. Today, I want to talk about the big picture. There is now an official trade block from US on airframe sales to China in the aftermath of Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan. China is threatening to invade Taiwan. US Defense Department decided that is a step too far and that civilian aviation transfer technologies should no longer be allowed to the Chinese. So the Chinese are throwing sanctions on Boeing. Boeing has a number of planes that they are already made for the Chinese that were in suspension that are no longer going to China anymore. And we are at the start of a firm technological split between China and the US. Some version of this was already in process, specifically semiconductors. Because of new regulations that have been sketched out by the Biden administration that are basically taking Trump's texts and making them into permanent policy, the Chinese can no longer import any of the equipment that is necessary to make high and medium quality chips. And they can't import the high quality chips at all. American sellers of those products that can either sell to the Chinese government or sell to the US government, you can't do both anymore. And for American companies like Lam Research, AMD, and NVIDIA, that's kind of the same as a ban. The debate going on is how far down to go on this scale. So can you sell medium quality chips to the Chinese? Can you still sell the gear that's necessary to make the low quality chips? All of this is now on the table. And I expect we are going to see stricter and stricter restrictions, and the Chinese are proven over again that they are having a hard time manufacturing any of these chips on their own. So just as we're having a divorce economically between the Germans and the Russians, as Germany seizing Russian assets in their country. We are independent. Germany seizes control of 3 Russian-owned oil refineries. Germany has seized control of 3 Russian-owned oil refineries as tensions between Moscow and the European Union escalate to new heights. Berlin has been scrambling to save energy and protect its supplies. As fears grow that Russian president could completely cut off the gas flows by this winter, Germany's energy regulator is set to take over control of the stakes in oil refineries in Schwedt, which together account for 12% of the country's oil processing capacity. According to a statement by Berlin's economy ministry, the government has placed a unit of Rosneft, a Russian oil firm, under the trusteeship of the industry regulator and taking over the business. Schwedt Refinery, which is responsible for supplying 90% of Berlin's fuel. The ministry said with the trusteeship, the threat to the security of energy supply is countered, and an essential foundation stone is set for the preservation and future of the Schwedt site. German chancellor said that the move to take over Rosneft's oil refineries has freed Germans from dependence on Russia after importing nearly 40% of its gas from Moscow last year. He told reporters, "We are making ourselves independent of Russia and any decisions that are taken there." The EU has been scrambling to support its power providers and secure additional fuel deliveries as it looks to end its reliance on Russia over its invasion of Ukraine. In response, Moscow slashed gas flows and even threatened to shut off all the taps, sending prices soaring and raising the prospect of winter energy rationing in Europe. Early this month, Putin railed against a proposed EU measure to issue a price cap on Russian gas imports by threatening to freeze Europe by halting all flows. Rosneft Deutschland, which was majority owned by the Russian oil firm, is being placed under the trusteeship of the Federal Network Agency regulator. The regulator added that Rosneft no longer had any authority to issue instructions to the site, which accounts for 12% of Germany's oil processing capacity. Meanwhile, sources told Reuters that Polish refinery PKN Orlen has shown an interest in taking a controlling stake in the Schwedt site, which is Germany's 4th largest refinery and also supplies parts of western Poland. London-based Shell, which owns 37.5% stake in the refinery, has been looking to sell it for a while, stating on Friday that it was unaffected by the German move to take control of the refinery. Germany will now be looking for alternative suppliers for the refinery, given that it received all of its crude oil from Russia. As parts of the EU sanctions, Berlin has vowed to end oil imports from Moscow by the end of this year. We are now past the point of no return between China and the Americans. I have made a video warning about what would happen to the stock market when China invades Taiwan to obtain their ability to make their own chips. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I put a lot of effort into making this video. At this point, because the Chinese are doing counter sanctions, it's probably too late for anyone who owns Chinese stocks. And it's probably a good idea to sell companies that have major revenue streams coming from China. This is not investing advice, but you should count on the entire corporate relationship between US and China collapsing over the course of the next year or 3. We are at that point now. The CEO of FedEx said he's been flying planes over to China to pick up goods so that he could distribute them to retailers, and the planes are coming back half empty. China is having an energy shortage just like Europe. They are having production blackouts. A lot of factories are shut down. Chinese government could seize U.S. assets in China too. So now I'm going to show you my clients David Vine and Jama's Ignite the Passion, Co-Create Your Dreams book. And the foreword is written by Abigail Sinclair. This was an incredible book. And my client Teddy Eazzy, Wicked Pussy Perfume. It's an erotic novel, another incredible book. And my book, You Hold the Magical Key to Your Success by Cheryl Zhang. And this one is so special. It's a Christmas one. Jingle Bell Magic, Ask and It's Given. So this one has Santa on it. And this is another one of my books. Oh, and this one is a bestseller. It sells a lot at Christmas time. I thank you all for being a fan and supporting me on my channel. I thank you for liking my videos and all the comments. I really want to hear about how you feel about my videos on this channel. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.